President Cyril Ramaphosa is hosting his Ivorian counterpart, President Alassane Ouattara, in Pretoria. For more on this, our SABC news reporter, political reporter Khayelihle Khumalo is standing by to tell us more. A very good afternoon, Khayelihle. Earlier, we did see the signing of bilateral agreements between the two countries. Where are we now?
Well, that's right, Nampu. And of course, when you look at the MOUs that were signed, really looking at the critical sectors, you look at the social development and the social inclusion issues pertaining to transportation. It's the heartbeat of the economic growth. But also the two leaders really do share quite a number of issues. You look at issue of the deepening of the economic ties, the political ties, and many other spheres as well. But most importantly, there was a very clear indication that the two presidents as well touched on the critical issues. We do know the banning issue around the conflict in Ukraine and the subsequent impact, especially in the globe, in terms of now the cost of living crisis, where also we've seen the grain being blocked from moving in the Black Sea, but a seminal point where there'll be a signing ceremony led by the United Nations Secretary General Guterres in Turkey. But of course, moving to other issues right in the continent here as well, pertaining to peace and security. Once again, President Ramaphosa and President Ouattara emphasizing the issue of peace and security, especially given some of the challenges that Côte d'Ivoire had faced, where we've seen a civil war at some point, but now the country is stable. But let's zoom to other issues as well, Nompo. Of course, one of the memorandum that was signed was with the National School of Government. Of course, Prof joins us now. Thank you so much indeed for your time, Prof. Let's just look at the significance of the signing of that particular agreement and MOU. So how is it going to work in terms of the collaboration between these two institutions?
Thank you, Kaya. Well, the National School of Government is a department responsible for providing skills development services to the public sector. Its mandate is not just to train public servants here. We also train elected officials, but increasingly we are collaborating with schools of government across the continent and across the world. I can tell you now that with the MOU that is signed here today, we are already implementing. Just 3 weeks ago, the minister responsible for the department that I lead in Côte d'Ivoire, together with directors generals, were here on a training program on economic governance. So we'll be exchanging ideas, exchanging training programs, exchanging trainers, but also providing trainers between our schools as well as the school in Côte d'Ivoire. This is critical, Kaya, because not only should we train ethical and capable public servants in South Africa, we should do the same in the continent as well. We require public servants elected and appointed who are developmental and internationalist in character. This is crucial because these are the MOUs that were being signed here. It is public servants who must operationalize them. If they take long to process and operationalize these, they may as well then have no effect whatsoever. So part of the training interventions we are doing in collaboration with our counterparts in Côte d'Ivoire is a program on economic governance, training both elected and appointed officials to understand that it is important to make quality decisions that will make sure that the economy of these countries will grow, but most importantly, decisions that are people-centric, not decisions based on the convenience of officials.
And just before I let you go, Prof, I suppose also the issue of good governance has always been a major challenge in the continent. You know, you look at the World Bank and other international institutions, every so often this particular challenge always comes up. Do you think it's going to assist us in terms of making sure that in terms of our planning, we're able to have all these good and core values really enshrined in our planning programs?
Oh, most definitely. So the issue of ethics is embedded in the training programs that we are offering. The issues of being effective in what you do, because oftentimes issues of good governance are not just about people stealing money, it's also about people not doing the work they are supposed to do on time. As a consequence, value will be lost in the economy. We are actually finalizing a postgraduate program now which we will offer in partnership with a South African university called African Governance. This is a training program unique in a sense that it's designed for all African public servants, those who are elected and appointed, and it will be emphasizing issues of effective governance in that program. We're hoping to roll out in the next year or so. We will have that as a very unique training program that involves public servants from across the continent, from the AU, both those who are appointed like myself as well as those who are elected like ministers as well. And we're happy that their ministers are already coming into the training programs of the National School of Government.
All right, Prof, thank you so much indeed for your time. So most definitely, Nompo, the issue of skills development is absolutely critical, but also we saw President Ouattara being bestowed with one of the prestigious orders here in South Africa for fostering the cordial relations between South Africa and Côte d'Ivoire. So it won't end here. During the course of the weekend, President Ouattara will undertake a trip to Cape Town, where he will see the cell where former President Nelson Mandela was incarcerated. And he has shown his love for South Africa, but also calling on the business sector in South Africa to seize the opportunities that are presented by the Ivorian economy.
Thanks very much, my colleague there, Khayelihle Khumalo.